How CCTV cameras can be hacked. Top security risks you should know. CCTV cameras have become a vital part of modern security systems, from homes to businesses, but how safe are they from hackers? It might surprise you, but thousands of these cameras are vulnerable to cyber attacks every single day. In today's world, where personal privacy and security are constantly at risk, knowing how hackers can breach your surveillance system is crucial for protecting yourself and your loved ones. Before we dive into the techniques used by hackers to gain access to CCTV cameras, I want to remind you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. That way, you won't miss out on more critical videos that help keep you informed and protected in this digital age. Now, let's dive into the alarming ways CCTV cameras can be hacked, starting with one of the most common methods. 1. Default password exploitation. One of the easiest ways for hackers to gain control of a CCTV camera is through default passwords. When surveillance systems are installed, many users fail to change the default username and password provided by the manufacturer. Hackers can simply search for these default login credentials, which are often available in user manuals or even online forums. Many people assume that their cameras are secure because they've been installed by professionals or because the camera is part of a large system. However, leaving the default settings in place leaves the door wide open for a cyber intruder. Once they have access, hackers can watch live feeds, disable recordings, or even take control of your camera's movement. 2. Unpatched firmware vulnerabilities. Another key method hackers use to exploit CCTV systems is through unpatched firmware vulnerabilities. Firmware is the permanent software that controls how your camera operates. Like any software, it needs regular updates to patch up security loopholes that hackers might exploit. Unfortunately, many users fail to update their camera's firmware, leaving old vulnerabilities exposed. Hackers can exploit these weaknesses to remotely access cameras, hijack footage, and even manipulate the data recorded by your system. To prevent this, it's essential to stay on top of firmware updates. Manufacturers regularly release patches that fix these vulnerabilities. Set up automatic updates where possible or check the manufacturer's website frequently for the latest security patches. 3. Weak encryption or no encryption. Encryption is a method of scrambling data to make it unreadable without the correct decryption key. When your CCTV footage is being transmitted over the internet, it should be encrypted to protect it from being intercepted. However, many surveillance systems either use weak encryption protocols or, in some cases, no encryption at all. This means that anyone with the right tools can intercept and view your live footage. In some cases, hackers can alter the footage or use it to track your movements, effectively turning your security system against you. Always check that your CCTV system supports strong encryption protocols, like WPA3 or AES, to ensure your data is secure. If your system doesn't offer strong encryption, it might be time to consider an upgrade. 4. Exploiting open ports. When setting up a CCTV system, it's common for users to enable open ports on their routers to allow remote access. While this can be convenient, it's also an entry point for hackers. If these ports aren't properly secured, a hacker can scan the internet for open ports and gain direct access to your CCTV cameras. To secure your system, close any unnecessary ports and use a VPN, virtual private network, for remote access. A VPN adds an extra layer of security, ensuring that only authorized users can access your camera feeds. 5. Phishing and social engineering attacks. Not all hacking methods are purely technical. Sometimes, hackers use social engineering tactics to trick users into giving up their login credentials. One of the most common forms of social engineering is phishing, a type of scam where hackers pose as legitimate companies or individuals to steal your information. You might receive an email that looks like it's from your CCTV camera manufacturer, asking you to log into your account or update your password. Once you click the link and enter your credentials, the hacker gains full access to your system. To avoid phishing attacks, always verify the source of any emails or messages you receive, especially those that ask for personal or login information. Never click on suspicious links, and use multi-factor authentication to add an extra layer of protection to your account. 6. Exploiting wireless networks. Many CCTV cameras are now connected to Wi-Fi networks, which can make them susceptible to attacks if the network isn't properly secured. Hackers can exploit weak Wi-Fi passwords, outdated router firmware, or poorly configured network settings to gain access to your CCTV system. To prevent this, Ensure that your Wi-Fi network uses a strong password and encryption. Also, disable features like WPS, Wi-Fi Protected Setup, which can be easily hacked. Finally, regularly update your router's firmware and monitor your network for any suspicious activity. 7. Third-party apps and cloud vulnerabilities. With the rise of smart devices, many CCTV systems now come with mobile apps that allow you to monitor footage remotely. While these apps are convenient, they can also introduce new vulnerabilities. If the app isn't properly secured or if the cloud storage used to store footage isn't protected, hackers can find a way in. Always use apps from trusted developers and ensure that any cloud storage used for your CCTV system has strong security measures in place, including encryption and multi-factor authentication. As we've seen, there are several ways CCTV cameras can be hacked, from exploiting default passwords to weak encryption and unsecured networks. Understanding these risks is the first step in protecting your surveillance system and ensuring your security. Before we wrap up, I encourage you to take action. Change default passwords, update your firmware regularly, and strengthen your Wi-Fi security. These small steps can make a big difference in keeping hackers out of your camera system. And before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more essential tech tips and cybersecurity advice. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.